Hello everyone and welcome to the Cherry Heart podcast. This is episode 69 and I'm Sandra. Hello. Thank you for joining me today. You can find the show notes for this podcast on my blog, which is cherryheart.co.uk. That's where I shall put pictures of the things I show you and link to the project pages. And also link to anything else I'm talking about. So if I mention something and you can't remember what it was, the links will be in there, and I'll put the link to those show notes down below this podcast as well if you're watching on YouTube. You can also find me around the web as Cherry Heart, and I'm on Instagram as Sandra Cherry HRT. So that's the intro out the way. How are you? It's been a while since I podcasted. It's before I went away. So we went away to Stockholm in half term, and that was rather lovely. Just me and the hubby hubs, the small person we left at home. Not on her own, you understand. She was with the responsible people. But that was really nice. It was a lovely, beautiful city. So I've taken some video footage, so I'll pop the sort of Stockholm vloggy bits at the end. I'm not sure how. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I'll have to edit it and stick it at the end. But yes, it's there should you wish to have a look at it. But yeah, it's a lovely place. I'd definitely recommend visiting if you get the chance. We really enjoyed it. There's plenty to see without it being sort of too overwhelming. It's very easy to get around. And beautiful place, beautiful buildings. Really loved it. It was great. I'd definitely go back there, or there's so many places that I would like to visit, and other places in Sweden, Norway, Denmark. Something about it just really appeals to me, and so it didn't disappoint. I liked it. Anyway, so that's at the end, as I say. But yes, and then we came back, and it's still been a few weeks, hasn't it? Just things have been going on, and life. It just happens, doesn't it? But anyway, I'm here now. That's the main thing. But I hope you've been okay. I hope you're having slightly better weather than we're having here. It's very grey and miserable. It's not actually raining at the moment, which is an improvement. Yesterday it rained pretty much all day, I think, more or less, and feels like it's been damp and miserable since we got back, pretty much. So, yeah. Woohoo, June! I think we had a good sort of first day or so of June, and then it's been bleh. But anyway, the plants need the rain, so it's all good, isn't it? So let us begin the actual talking about crafty things, which is why you're here, presumably. I normally say this at the beginning, don't I, actually, that this is a crochet podcast with knitting and sewing and other crafty bits and bobs. So let's get on with that part of it. I'm going to show you, what have I got to show you? I'm going to show you the things I've done first. So, as is tradition, let's start with some socks. So these ones I spoke about on the podcast before. But I've finished them now. They were a sort of slow back burner work in progress. So they've just been chugging along very slowly, but I have finally finished them now. And the yarn I used is Stylecraft Head Over Heels yarn, which is their, it's a wool nylon, I think, or polyamide, I think nylon. I think it will nylon blend, so it's good for socks, but it's also soft enough for something around your neck, so hence head over heels, so you can wear it at either end. And this one is from the All Stars range, which is the Blog Stars colourway, and this is my colourway, which they called Aussie. So I just wanted to have a knit up a pair in that just to see how it looks, and this is how it comes out, so I'm quite happy with that. The pattern is just, well, I just made it up, but it's not exactly rocket science. As you see, it's just a really wide spaced rib. It's a broken rib, so one row I just knit round and the other row I just did a couple of purls in the ribbing lines. Top down as I normally do, 2x2 cuff as I normally do. Heel, I messed up my eye of partridge heel again. I've got slip stitches off. Let's look at this heel. Is this one better? Yes, let's look at that one. My eye of partridge heel, and I did a square heel turn again, which is sort of becoming a bit of a fave of mine. I wanted to try it out because I want to add it to my pick and mix socks pattern. Yeah, because I like the square heel. It's sort of nice, it's easy to remember. The gusset is a bit shorter, so that's a bit quicker, and I just like it. And then the toes is my rounded wedge toe, again from my pick and mix pattern. So that's all oh no, it's not all pick and mix, it's just the cuff and the toe. Everything else is just from here. But yeah, so there we go, not a lot else to say about those. But I like them. I like how they came out. I didn't quite get a match. Look, my toes have got a different amount of pink on. But not much difference, is there? Fairly matchy-ish. So that's those done. And then, oh, the other thing I finished, I did this just before I went away actually. I've got this tray, oval tray. Well, I'm about to show you actually. This one, which I quite like. I quite like its rusticy nature. Let me just, it's handy, especially in summer, sort of take things out to the garden, drinks, or load up my project and my, you know, iPad and my phone and everything, shove it all in there and just carry things around. It's just an easier way to get things in and out. But it's all sort of plain on the bottom, which is fine, but I thought it might be quite nice, especially since I'm dumping other things in it. You know, I use it more for the other things than I do for actually carrying drinks back and forth, so I thought it might be nice to have a little lining or a little sort of doily or something. So I was thinking maybe a crochet doily, but then I thought I shall sew up a little lining. So I've made a little fabric lining for it. So I'll just pop in to show you. There we go. So now I've got that sitting inside it. So it's just scrappy bits and bobs. Got a bit of thread there. Oh, that's attached. Oh, I'll have to cut that off in a minute. Yes, it's just scraps that I had left over. I've got a little box of scraps over here. So I just pulled those out and stitched them together. And that's what I ended up with. I just put a little bit of wadding in as well, just to give it a bit of padding. Oops. I'll just lift it out to show you the back. I just did a tiny bit of quilting along a few of the lines. I don't know if you can see on there, just a little bit on some of them. But yeah, it's just got a slight thickness to it. It's got the wadding in and then just a plain back. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of cute. I might do a crochet doily as well, just to mix it up. But yeah, so that was a super quick and easy little project, which I quite enjoyed. So that's the only other thing I've actually finished to show you, I think. I feel like there should be more, but there we are. Now, the other project. First of all, I've got two other things to show you. One of them is very naughty and one of them is very nice. So we're going to do the very naughty one first, which is in this, which is my West Green Loss project bag. It's woven and is beautiful and I love it. So this is a project that I wanted to make out of my Advent minis from last year. So I've got 24 obviously, and these were from Regina, of Herbs About Regina. So yeah, so I've got various different colours in minis, and when I had, what am I saying? Yes, when I had an advent calendar before, it was when I was doing my Battenberg blanket, the one with the tiny squares, and each day I would unwrap an advent and I would crochet myself up so many squares, say 6 squares, whatever. And then, you know, that would be it for the day until the next day. And I just really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the process of just sitting, having a quiet moment, winding it up, just doing a little bit, and then that was it. You couldn't do anything till the next day. So I wanted a project that fulfilled all of those lovely, satisfying requirements and would use up these minis. But to be honest, I was struggling to find something I was happy with because I wanted it to be crochet. And yeah, I wasn't finding anything that would really fit the bill. So I thought, that's fine, I'll just make something up, it would be cool. So, famous last words. So yeah, so I've sampled up various different stitch designs, blah, blah, blah. And I came across one that I really liked, which I'll show you. This is this bottom bit here. I spoke about this on Instagram, so you might have seen this before actually. So that's that one, really like that. Very pretty. So I thought, fine, I should just do that in different stripes of colour. But then it didn't sort of look right, so I thought I need an alternate stitch pattern, because my plan was to kind of have a darker and then a lighter and then a darker and then a lighter and so on and so on. And I thought the lighter needs to be something else. It needs to be a sort of relief from the stronger colour in stitch pattern as well as in colour. So I came up with this other stitch pattern, which I thought, oh, this is good, it fits the stitch count nicely, it's sort of complementary, which is this one to the original stitch pattern. Let's show you it here actually, you might be able to see it a bit clearer. But the trouble is, it's just too, although it's different to this one, it's just not enough of a contrast. So I tried various different things, couldn't find anything I was happy with. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just go with this. They're both nice, and when it's blocked, they'll look different and it'll all be fabulous. I'll just start. So I've started, and this is what I've got so far. And I really don't like it. I really don't like it at all. It was okay, I was going okay up to here. It's this colour change here I really don't like. I had another colour on top. Let me just see if I can find it. This one coming after the purple, and this and the purple look gorgeous, and even the brown and the purple in this look quite nice. And I really like the bottom bit, the green to this mottled one, and then the pink. That's lovely, and even the brown on top of that is fine. But the pink, the brown and the purple, I really don't like at all. So that sort of stopped me. And then once I'd stopped, I was kind of reassessing the whole thing and thinking, I really don't, although I love these stitch patterns individually, I love this one, and I also love this one. They're both beautiful. It just altogether, it's not doing it for me at all. Gone for a sort of slanty thing. I was going to have it as a wrap. I mean, it will block out quite a bit. It looks a bit narrow and nothingy, but it's going to block quite a lot. But anyway, the long story short is I don't like it. And it sat for a while I think about it and cogitate. And I don't know. I've tried to substitute. My problem is I had quite a, as well as all the other problems I just mentioned. I was trying to sort of arrange the colour. I've laid them all out and I took a photo so I knew, you know, which order to do them in. Had that all saved, thought I was all ready to go. And then because of not liking this, I had to rearrange. but I just can't come up with an order that I'm completely happy with. I've tried pulling in some other minis as well to sort of make it work, but it's just not sitting quite right. There's some beautiful, stunning, gorgeous colours in here. Like this whole swathes that looks stunning next to each other. Oops, got my finger caught. That are going to look beautiful. But then there's another patch, sort of like this, for example. Let's show you, for example. We've got like these sort of quite muted, lovely colours, which look beautiful together, but then you've got that bright purple, and the pink is quite bright as well, but then the brights kind of, I've got like these brights, which again, really beautiful, look lovely with the pink and the purple, kind of, you know, that all fits in there. But when you're trying to get it to all, whatever that is, when you're trying to get that to happen, gel together, I was going to say, I can't sort of get something that's just sitting quite right that I'm happy with. So I either need to maybe separate up the sort of more muted tones and put them in a project, and the brighter tones in a project. Maybe I'd be happier then. Just try and get some of the other colours to show you. Oh, I haven't got the other green up here. So I've got this sort of green, which foresty green, which goes beautifully with that. But then there's quite a bright sort of minty green, which I haven't got up here, so that's no help. And like this sort of speckled one goes beautifully with that. But yeah, I think that there isn't sort of quite the right, it doesn't break down half of sort of more solid colours and more speckled colours, so I can't alternate them quite as I want to. And just also, another two, they look beautiful together. There's loads in here that are gorgeous and loads that look good together, but I just can't get them all to look right in a way that I'm happy with anyway. This one I'm having trouble with. I love it, it's really pretty. Actually doesn't look bad with that green, does it? But I'm struggling to put it sort of next to something else, apart from this green that I've just held it up with. But even then, that's quite a contrast. What I was trying to get is some kind of relationship between the colours. So there's the green, and then there's sort of greeny little flecks in this pinky beigey cream one, and then obviously pick out pink, and then, well, okay, it fell down there, but I thought there was enough contrast in the colours. When I laid it out, it kind of looked nice, but here it doesn't. So yes, so anyway, long story short is I've kind of fallen out of love with this as a project. I undid this last colour that I'm using on here that I showed you a moment ago, which is this one. And I was trying some different other stitch patterns on, sort of test out to see if that would solve the problem. But do you know what? I wasn't liking anything that I came up with. I think it just needs to be different. I think this stitch patterns are lovely, but they're just not right for this. So I think it needed to be something else entirely for this. But I think, oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. I've also gone back and started the whole thing again twice, because I think once I started it and then decided I wanted it wider, so then I undid it, redid it again. Then I changed this stitch pattern out, so then I redid back to here again. So this is sort of attempt 4. And it still isn't right, and I'm kind of losing my love for it, that's the problem. So what I've decided is this is going to be frogged. And I think I'm going to separate the minis up into different projects. I think that might work better for me. So like I say, I've got these sort of lovely pinky tones that are working together beautifully. So I'm putting them in one area, and then I've got a load of other sort of bluey greeny tones that I'm kind of keeping in another area. And I think you're right there. Don't rip it to pieces, you. He's chewing his bed blanket and destroying it. Trying to get together to show you. Here's some of them. This green that's currently in here is going to come over and live with these things. This purple might come over here as well, because I think that looks kind of, see that bright? Looks kind of good in amongst all there, I think, especially with this. Looks good with this one. It's hard to show you, but it's got little sort of speckly bits of purple and things in there. And then I pulled out just a couple of others that might go with that selection. He's utterly going for it with that blanket. So yes, it's a bit of a not meant to be. So I think these stitch patterns could live on in something else. Really like those. They could be something else. And maybe this whole idea will sort of come back to life at some point, but not at the moment. I don't know. I wanted to do something like a nice crocheted project that would work well with Advent minis, though. I just like the idea of that as a project. I know there's quite a few knitting ones. Maybe you know of some Advent crochet ones that I could maybe consider for like this year, at the end of this year. There must be something really lovely and crochet that works with Advent minis, mustn't there? Yeah, so if you know of any such project, let me know. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll come back to life, maybe it won't. In the meantime, though, guess what I've done? Guess what I've done? I started socks. I couldn't help myself. I really do love the Herbslack Regina yarn. I really love it for socks. I think it's sort of quite puffy and it's a little bit thicker than normal yarn I would use for socks, so it feels really snuggly and soft and really nice. Some of my favourite pairs of socks ever are with Regina's yarn. So yes, haven't got much yet, but there's my little cuff, and then I'm using this nice Succulents, this was called, Succulents colour, and then I might bring the purple in underneath. But yeah, I'm just going to have stripes of colour, and that's what I'm going to do with it. And I sort of had a tiny pang of regret when I knit this up, because when it was crocheted up, it looked really amazing. I think it actually looked better crocheted up than it does knit up. But there's only a little bit, so it's quite hard to tell, to be fair. But yes, but that was the only tiny pang of maybe regret I had about it. But to be honest, I'm looking forward to ripping this out now and getting it in my socks. So yeah, so I've only been hanging on to show you. So that was a bit of a non-starter, really. So back to the drawing board on that. But never mind, these things happen. So now we've talked about the naughty project, let's talk about the nice project. So this is also linked to, goodness me, the ers. I'm so sorry about the amount of ers I'm doing. Herbslack Regina. This also was part of her advent calendar. That's her project bag. So I pulled that out at the same time. Got my little, also an advent thing actually. I hope I hope the dog destroying his blanket isn't making too much noise to disturb you. But this is a So Sweet Violet Advent I got last year, so that was in that. And then this project, oh, I'm enjoying this so much. So much. And it's the Florrie cardigan. I think last time I said I was going to make a floozy, and that was completely the wrong thing. That is a cardigan, but it's not the cardigan I'm making. I'm making a Florrie cardigan. So this came about because of Jules from So Sweet Violet. It's all your fault, Jules, okay? So Jules made a Florrie. She made it in white, and she made it using Amy Little Tailoress's yarn, so her yarn brand, which is Dandelion and Dogwood. And she used a Clouds yarn, and it came out beautifully, and I loved it. And I've been looking for, oh, this is the back. I don't know if, how much you'll be able to see from the back. I've been looking for sort of a knit cardigan that I could maybe make. And I thought, oh, that one looks really lovely. And she was saying how nice the yarn was. And I thought, oh, yeah, how lovely. I'll never get any of that, though. Amy's updates sell so quick. You know, the chances of me getting anything from there, or certainly enough to make a cardigan, you know, that's never going to happen. Oh, I'll just check just to make sure I'm right, and there's absolutely nothing in there. So I thought, well, that's a nice idea, but it's never going to happen. Anyway, so while I was watching it, I went on there, and she had some. And she had some in the Clouds base, and I was like, oh! And she had this gorgeous colourway, which is Married in Jeans. So it was a bit of a spur of the moment thing, and I thought, oh, it's there, and there's enough, I'm going to go for it. So it wasn't the sort of most thought through plan, but I think it was a good one. Yeah, so there it is, in her Married in Jeans colourway, which is absolutely beautiful. And this is her Clouds base. So it is 69% silk, which gives it that nice sheen. 22% kid mohair, which is why it's got that lovely fluff. And it's also got 9% polyamide in it. So there's 350 metres per 100 grams. And yeah. I've got 4 because Jules said she used 4 for hers. And I can't remember what size she said she'd made now. I think I'm making a smaller size, so I thought that'd be fine. And also the patterns, you know, yardage in the pattern, it should be right. So I only got 4, so I hope I don't need any more than that. Hello, can I help you? We have a visitor. Come on then. Yes. Why are you eating your blanket, young man? Why is that happening? There you go. Is that better? No, don't lick my face. Come to say hello to everyone, have you? Have you come to say hello? No, don't lick my face. Ooh. Yes, I appreciate the affection, but direct it elsewhere. Yes, so I embarked upon my Florrie project. And I am loving it. It's a good job I've held it up already, because I can't do much holding up now I've got you on my arms. Yes, so you start at the back. It's all sort of provisional cast-ons and things. So you start at the back, and then you kind of attach the front bits to it. Yeah, which caused me some confusion, I must admit. I did sort of think I must be very dim indeed, because I was struggling to work it out. Couldn't quite sort of visualise how it was going to go. And then I was sort of looking on some Ravelry projects just to sort of see if anyone else had said anything that might sort of give me some glimpse into if I was on the right lines or not. And everyone was going, oh yeah, you know, all very easy, and oh, different construction but really easy, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my god, I must be the stupidest person alive. How come everyone else can work it out and I can't work it out? So anyway, I got there in the end, but the thing that confused me was the bit where it says about placing a marker, and it had an abbreviation PLM for place marker, but it wasn't in the abbreviations list. And just before that, it had said about, you know, actually written instructions, place a marker here, blah blah blah. So I thought, fine. So where it had the PLM in the sort of first row you work, I thought, well, there isn't like an abbreviation. Does that mean place marker? Oh, it must mean slip marker. It must be a typo. It must mean SLM, because there was an abbreviation for that, slip marker. So okay, that's typo. So then we've got to slip the marker. But where that was in the instructions compared to the marker that I thought they were talking about that you placed at the beginning, it was completely sort of different place. So I was getting so confused about whether I had like the thing the right way round. Am I sort of working on the wrong shoulder? What? I can't get this at all. So yeah, so that's what sort of led me down the wrong path. I think if there was just, I didn't realise you were putting two markers on basically. I thought there was one marker and then that was a typo, meaning to slip the marker. So I was like, oh, well, when you do this bit, you've got to be at this other end. What? So that's what sort of sent me down the wrong path, I think. But once I realised, no, you're actually placing another marker, then it was easy. Then it was fine. But just going on Ravelry helped. Just sort of people had progress pictures, and that just showing this bit sort of as it's done, you know, when it's all, you've got your front bits attached. So these are your sleeves, and this is your neck. This is sort of your neckband, you're knitting into it all at once. Once I could sort of see that as well, so I knew what I was trying to achieve, then I could kind of go, oh, okay, it's not slip the marker, it's another marker. So after that, it was plain sailing again. So yeah, so it's just lots of stockinette so far, or stocking stitch, but I'm loving that. I love it. Just sit there and stitch, 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 and yeah, really enjoying it. So I'm almost done with my first ball. So I need to wind up another one and carry on. I'm sort of happy to have this as a kind of background project in a way, so that it's not too, you know, so I can just, when I don't need to think about anything else, I can just pick it up and do some rows of stocking stitch. So I quite like the idea of that, but on the other hand, it's absolutely my favourite thing to work on, and it's all I want to do at the minute. So maybe it won't be a background project. And then I've got the lace. It's got sort of like a lace or some sort of patting in at the bottom, so that might require a little bit more brain power, I don't know. But yes, so that's what I'm working on at the moment. So now I've abandoned my crochet project. I've got 2 knitting projects and no crochet, which doesn't seem right. Although I have got a secret squirrel crochet on the go, so there is something in there. And I might start, if we just go into things I'm doing, into pips, which is patterns in progress, I might start working on that, which I designed a couple of years ago, I think. But I've been wearing that quite a lot lately. It's actually really nice. Let me just get it closer for you. Come on. So yeah, before it went all miserable and freezing again around here, this was actually really nice to wear. It's lace weight, so it's ever so light, but it just gives the little something. It sort of scrunches up quite nicely around my neck as well. And I obviously dangly bits, love a little dangly bit. So yeah, I'm kind of really loving that at the moment. So it's all written up. I just need to get it tested and stuff. But yeah, so I might start on that and get that out. Assuming at some point it might stop being horrible weather here again, so we actually want to contemplate wearing something as light as that. That would work out. So that's that. Patterns in progress. So, oh, this one, it's called Fluttering By, I think, because I thought these little bits were a bit like little butterflies, and these are little butterflies hanging on the end. Though they're not as nicely blocked as they were when I first did it, because they kind of look a little bit like little butterflies, sort of. Yes, so another thing to talk about. I thought I would just share, a while ago I made these socks. Oh, you've got to be sitting on my arm, haven't you? You're so awkward. He's pulling me down to the side so he can use my arm as a headrest, as he does. Yes, so I made these socks a while ago with my lovely Crafternoon Treats yarn that Catherine gave me. And it's a yarn that has silk instead of nylon, so it's a sock yarn, but it has silk as the strengthening property rather than nylon. So she asked me to make some socks in it and also to sort of test it out. So I spoke about it when I made them and just sort of said how lovely it was to knit with and how soft and squishy it is, and it's really lovely yarn to use. It's so bouncy and soft and lovely and smooth. Very nice with the silk. It feels really luxurious. It almost feels too good for socks, but at the same time we wanted to test them for socks to see how it worked. So I've been wearing these quite a lot. Before I went away I was wearing them. I've also washed them a couple of times to see how they would wear and see how the nylon would hold up. So let's show you the heels so you can see. I mean, you can see that they're looking... What's he growling at? Yes, so here is the wear on the heel, and as you can see, none really. It's flattened, the sort of stitches are flattened slightly from the pressure of me walking on it. Let's show you the end of the balls of the feet as well. I don't know if you can sort of see that it's just ever so slightly sort of flattened, and you know, it starts to gently, just as if it's going to felt, very, very slightly there. Actually, it's really hard to see on the camera. You can see it, you can tell in real life a little bit, but just, you know, the pressure of my weight on it is obviously going to act like a bit of a flattening effect on the bottom stitches. But other than that, that's the only effect so far. So, I mean, obviously I've only been wearing these for a few weeks, so it hasn't got as much wear as if I'd had them for years and years. But on the other hand, I've been wearing them a lot. So I would wear them and wash them and then wear them again to try and sort of simulate quite a bit of wear, because normally I rotate my socks quite a lot, so they wouldn't get like a massive amount of wear anyway. Just try to find different bits to show you. Yeah, I think it looks very, very good and is holding up very, very well. Do you want to go out? Are you coming back? Oh, you are so silly, aren't you? Come this side so you can't see out into the garden. Take your mind off it. There you go. Yes. So in conclusion, brilliant. Does that meet with your approval as well? Yeah, in conclusion, I would definitely use that again, and I would have no hesitation at all in using that for socks. They're holding up fantastically well. And you can, where was I? Yeah, so the fact that I've washed these a few times and they're sort of pretty much as good as new, very close to, I think is a very good sign. So yes, thank you ever so much for letting me test that out, Catherine. I think it's beautiful. And I'm very happy with my socks too. So I might bring that out as a little pattern, because I quite like my little cuff that I've done there, and just a little simple pattern for the little lacework pattern. It's quite cute. I thought that's quite nice, so I might bring out a pattern for that actually. I forgot I was going to do that. I might get on and write that up. Right, sorry about that. He's off down the garden barking merrily away, but it's quite far, so hopefully he won't disturb us. yes, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. I do have pod mail questions I should be answering, and I just realised there's some on the Ravelry thread that about 3 months ago that I haven't got to yet, so sorry about that. I will try and do some of those next time, but I'm going to leave it for today because I've got the vloggy stuff to pop on the end and I'm not quite sure how long that is. Not that I'll put loads in, but you know, I think we've done enough is my point already for you to have to sit through, if you're even still here. If you are, thank you so much for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. If you are a returning visitor, so appreciate it. It's always, I don't know, when you record these things, you're always a bit like, why am I doing this? And then when the comments come through and you're all so kind and lovely, and yeah, I just really appreciate that. Anyway, waffling now. But thank you, and if you're new and you stayed, thank you for trying out and sticking around as well. Also very appreciated, and I'll hopefully see you all next time. So that's it for me, and find yourself some nice crafty moments until we meet again. Okay, bye.